Alright guys, so we're about a week away from the Rock Cup, so let's start talking about that event and what we should be expecting from it and how you should be planning for it, both in travel and in mental preparation for the game. I mean, all these are important things of getting there, right? So let's get the show on the road without a shadow of a doubt. Now, first thing worth mentioning, this event is October 13th through the 15th at the Doubletree by Hilton in Atlanta Perimeter Dunwoody. Doubletree by Hilton, Atlanta Perimeter Dunwoody. It's actually in Atlanta, Georgia on 4386 Chamblee Dunwoody Road. I hope I said all of those words right. They all sound really wacky. Now, if you're looking for some of these details in writing and you don't like my delivery of a lot of those words, click on go to hcrealms.com, click on the Rock tab, and there's a little link at the left side that says Rock World Cup, and that gives you the same details I'm kind of reading out to you and going to share with you in order to get there. So the whole event itself is free admission, like walking into the building, getting in there, all that kind of stuff. That's free. Where you're going to be paying for will be individual tournaments, individual events, and in addition to that, you're going to be paying for your hotel room. This is being held in a hotel, so I can't stress enough. Try to get your room in the hotel ASAP, because it's an important part of everything. The Friday night, there's going to be all kinds of stuff going on from the Friday through the Sunday. The Friday itself is, I think, a little bit more of a laid-back sort of day. Yeah, no major tournaments on the Friday. There are some side tournaments, as they were, but these side tournaments are actually leveled at like super qualifiers and whatnot, so it's a bit more of a fun day. There's the Thursday itself is going to have some more nonsense stuff as well, and that's going to be run by Critical Clix. I think they're actually running a team tournament of some sorts that's sold out. Yep. This is their team tournament that's sold out, which really quickly, amazingly. So we'll see if any seats open up for that. I know myself and Am are going to be early on Thursday. We're probably going to do some kind of fan appreciation thing. Throughout the entire weekend, there's going to be, if this is like last year, there's something called Rock and Rolls. They're 4-man sealed battle royales with points distributed. First place gets 25 points. Second place gets 10 points, and third and fourth get 5 points. And these are Rock and Rolls and Hard Rocks. What the events are called. These points are only for this weekend. This weekend that we're talking about, the Rock World Cup. And these are for you getting into the last second, get your qualifiers in for either the semifinal or the final itself. All right. Hard Rocks are 8-man single elimination constructed tournaments. They're $10 entry. First place gets 50 points. Second place gets 25 points. Third and fourth get 10 points. Fifth through eighth gets 5 points as well. These are 5 rock points. These rock points are important. I'll give you the rundown of what you need in order to get into the events. So we'll start by talking about the major events. First is Saturday. Saturday at 3:00 p.m. is what's called the Rock semifinals. It's 4 rounds of Swiss tournament. You need 50 rock points or a bye by winning a what's the word I'm looking for? A state or a super qualifier tournament. If you've won either of those, you're automatically qualified for these. On this page that we're talking about as well, there is a list of people who are pre-qualified, have their buys into these tournaments. Also at 3:00, there's a SEAL tournament going on, and they're also going to be running a team tournament starting on the Saturday at 9 a.m. It's just teams that's very similar to what they run at the World Championships of heroclix. It'll be teams of 3. Each team gets 6 boosters, build 3 300-point teams. Each player will play against a different player on each other team. Each player will be labeled A, B, C. A's will play the A's, B's will play the B's, and C's will play the C's. If that makes sense to you, cool. So get yourself a team, get yourself $90 to split between the threes, $30 a person, and try to get in on that action. It was a lot of fun last year, and hopefully this year as well it's going to be as much fun. The semifinal tournament is a 400-point modern limited event. Limited meaning basically it's not no resource type of deal. Check the ROC page if you're not familiar with what that is, but this is going to be one of those events you got to plan differently for than you would your normal, more modern age tournament. You have to plan for an extra 100 points. Is that extra 100 points going to be what's good in 300 plus 100 points? Or are you going to try to pull something that's not so good in a 300-point format that might be better served in an extra 100 points? You got to test it out, give it a try, be aware of this. Also be aware that weapons from Thor and any other equipment that kind of shows up on the board is going to be very prevalent in this event. You're not going to see Colossal Retaliation unless people are brave enough to try out Stiltman. But at the same time, there are some countermeasures to the equipment that are out there. I mean, you got Leonardo out there, along with a few other characters that might be worth playing in this event. So test it out, give it a try. It's a little bit harder to plan for because it's fresh. The format is new, and this is a new set of figures with which to work on it. This is one of those formats where the figures on the board make a massive difference on how the game is played and how the thing is going to go, as opposed to the other formats where there's a lot of off-board stuff that can help and whatnot. You're not going to have ID cards to back you up, so you got to plan for that. If you didn't have a backup plan on your normal team, you got to start building with those backups. You got to build more contingency on board in the 400-point limited format than you usually get from off-board stuff. As well, you've got to plan for things like Mr. Nobody being played if you're planning on playing those weapons, and just being able to win without those things. All of this is very important. With that said, big voices. As well, throughout that day, 7:30 p.m. is when the team finals will start for that, and it'll be the top 8 teams from Swiss in single elimination matches. The Sunday itself, and all of these days, earlier in the morning is when Battle Royales will start. 10 a.m. is when the finals start, the finals being 4 rounds of Swiss that cut the top 32. You need to get into this event 200 ROC points, a buy-in, or an advancement from semifinals. So you were in the, I believe it's the top 50% from the semifinals. I have to double check that. I believe that's actually later in this whole article. Or if you have a semifinal buy already, you can get in as well with 100 additional ROC points. So if you want to kind of skip over that limited event, go for it if you can get the 100 points. At noon as well, there's a consolation tournament. 3 or 4 rounds of Swiss, free entry, 300-point modern. 2 p.m. there's a lunch break for the top 32, and then 3 p.m. is the finals of the finals. Now, Dice Addiction is a store that's been running stuff at these events on a regular basis, and they are running their own events. Check out this ROC page for information on those. There's a lot of really cool stuff. If you're a big miniature guy, they're holding miniature workshops. They got battle royales being run around the board and all that kind of neat stuff. So just to kind of break down the bigger events, the semifinals. So here's how you qualify for the semifinals: combination TCG points, rock and roll points, and hard rock points. Hard rock winner, 50 TCGplayer.com max points, state provincial winner, or a super qualifier winner. The finals, advancement through semifinals, 200 TCG points, automatic berth for a certain number of certain specific players. Regional winner, winner of 2 super qualifiers, winner of super qualifier plus 100 TCG player points, super qualifier and state province champion winner, state province champion winner plus 100 max points. Players will be able to earn rock and roll hard points at the World Cup event. These special points can be used to enter the World Cup, can be used in conjunction with TCG player max points. These points can only be earned at the World Cup and for entry into the World Cup and are not redeemable. Automatic final berths include Ed Arnold Berkowitz, who won the ROC Cup last year, Eastern Brock, who was 2nd place last year, 3rd place, Patrick Iboko, whose seat actually went to Philip Isaacson Jr., and 4th place Daniel Powell, and the 2017 world champion Howard Brock. I don't think he plays in the event though. The 2017 or the year's world champion gets an automatic jump into the finals as well at the ROC Cup. And they also have the list of all the regional winners, super qualifier winners, and state provincials winners in that. As far as the modern age is concerned, we know what's there. Harley Quinn was originally supposed to. Harley Quinn and the Gotham Girls was originally supposed to be expected to be part of the event, as it had an original release date of October 4th. Now that's been pushed back to November, so we are no longer at that state. We are at the Mighty Thor state, the same kind of game state we had for the Rock Canada Cup, which means Rock Canada Cup and the Big Bang Regional are your two tournaments to kind of decide what the initial look at the metagame, what the game look of the metagame is. The top 8s on both of those are very likely to be played teams, and it's worth looking at those to see if you can either play or beat them. And there's not going to be a whole lot of new information going into that, with the exception of maybe some OP kit figures that might come along the way. We haven't seen the Merc Jet in action yet, though it may or may not show up. We'll see how that goes. Either way, guys, we're expecting to see you guys at the Rock World Cup in Atlanta. I know myself and Amber are going to be there. A few of the other guys on the show, I know Tom and Jay are planning on getting down there. Mike White, who you've seen on the show, is going to be there too. So if you're planning on being there, we keep an eye on the channel, keep an eye on the Facebook. We're going to let you guys know what we plan on doing as far as the events are concerned once we know what our schedules are. Myself and Amber will be on the commentary table a fair amount of the time. We are going to try to play in more side events. So we got to find out from the guys at The Rock what our schedule is looking like for the commentary table and how we plan on running that. In the meantime, guys, get your teams on the table, both your limited teams and your full-blown modern teams, and get some practice in with them in order to make those teams better. Have a good night, everybody, and see you at Rock Cup.